Well, we went to Vietnam and Thailand, and there are a couple reasons we chose the location. The first is that I had worked in Hong Kong and in the region before, back in my former career at the State Department, and I had a deep and abiding interest in the politics of the region. And secondly, and probably most importantly, is that I had contacts that worked in both Vietnam and in Thailand. In Vietnam, the Deputy Chief of Mission, the second in command of the embassy, was my former boss in Hong Kong, and then one of my best friends in the world is the Deputy Political Counselor in Bangkok, Thailand. Well, there's several surprising parts of the trip. First and foremost, I did not expect the students to respond as well as they did to the acclimation process of being in what is in effect still a developing country, in Vietnam's case in particular, but also how well they asked questions in some of the meetings. We had very high-level meetings with a range of different people, and they asked really excellent questions and behaved very professionally, and I was pleasantly surprised at that, although I did expect it. A second thing that surprised me was the fact that in Bangkok, this is an anecdote, that the dog of the Crown Prince is an actual formal military officer in the Thai military with the name Air Chief Marshal Fufu is his name, and there's a real state birthday party that they hold for him. I'm not making this up. You can check it up on the internet if you'd like. A third surprising thing is how well the students connected with the personal components of the course. On one hand, prior to leaving, they interviewed a U.S.-Vietnam veteran to get a sense of the war from a U.S. perspective and from somebody who actually lived it and fought it. And these essays were fabulous, among the best, and it was one of the more rewarding teaching experiences of my career. And then when we were in the field, in country, we had the opportunity to meet with a series of non-governmental organizations, NGOs, that work on transnational issues that are ranging from refugee issues to disaster relief victims in Thailand after the 2004 tsunami. And the students were very engaged in volunteer work at a tsunami orphanage and school in Thailand, and have even created connections to be able to maybe go over and volunteer later on and that they're going to pursue. And in fact, I know the students are working on putting together a student-based club here at Linfield to continue that relationship. Well, I think on one hand, there's only so much you can do in the classroom, and going into the field like this really helps bring a lot of the more academic stuff to life. Secondly, I do think this is much more than a class. It's an exercise in professional development. When we were abroad, we were effectively diplomats. We were representing Linfield College, and we were able to go to a reception, for example, with about 15 or 20 diplomats, and mingle informally with them. And as it turns out, the U.S. ambassador for war crimes showed up unexpectedly, which was a treat for some of the students. But it's an opportunity for them to really start developing their own network and to get a sense of what they want to do in their careers and what types of opportunities are out there as well. I'm applying to go again in 2013, and we'll do basically the same trip. It went very well, and particularly now that we have all these contacts. But I might try to look into adding Burma, which would be, I've heard, is a great place. But if you're familiar with the politics of Burma, it's a little dicey. So I'll look into it.